Hello, everyone. I'll give people a moment to pop in. While I'm doing that, I will pull up my Project Pan stuff. Since we're here for that. Okay. I had to double check to make sure I was still live because, or at least publicly live. Last time I did a live, it wasn't public. It was private for forever, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Turns out I had a little tech issue. Anywho, well, while I'm waiting for folks to come in, I am going to do some makeup because I look a little drab, in my opinion. Let me just get some brows on. Look at these little hairs that keep sticking out right here. There we go. Nope. There we go. Is that you, Clara? Hey, you made it. I'm seeing if I can recruit Sam. I don't know if she's online and available. But all the same, I had someone else pop in a minute ago and then they left, so I don't know who it was. Yeah, I don't think Sam's online right now because I messaged her a little while ago and she still hasn't seen it. So, anywho, wanting to do the Project Pan updates today and selecting the next products. I was going to do every month, but at this point, I'm just not that good at it. So I'm just saying, as long as I feel like 6 weeks, maybe, as long as I feel like it, I guess. It's one of those things where I'm like, and I'm a dummy because I left them in my bedroom. But I do have a video that will go up talking about that, those products that I had the last time, which included 2 brow products, an eyeshadow palette, a single pigment, and a lip color, which was kind of an awesome little, like almost full face kind of thing without the actual face part. Oh yay, Martin's joining. Woohoo. Hello, Martin. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not going to make it a long chat today since I have a lot of studying to do. I have a final tomorrow in my political science / ethics class. It's a philosophy hybrid. When I signed up for the class, I didn't realize that. And then we go into the first couple of lectures and we're talking about philosophical concepts. And I'm thinking, wait, aren't we supposed to be talking about political science here? And just realized, oh, I signed up for a hybrid class. Okay, well, let's stretch the mind and think about philosophy now. You know, I'm so scientific and logical on so many things. And it's like, wait, this is not quite adding up to what that's not quite what. It's like epistemology versus metaphysics and should and ought tos versus, you know, what's universal, what's not universal. So it's a mind stretch. So I have a final on that tomorrow where a lot of it's essay questions, and we've had a lot of reading this quarter. So I have to go back and reread a lot of stuff just to make notes of different things because our professor will take quotes from different readings and pop them into our exam and ask us, okay, who said this and what does it mean? It's like, I'm terrible at that. I am not good at remembering written things like that. I'm good at when people speak to me and say something to me, I can I remember that and I know who said it and I know when they said it. The auditory piece, that's where I really get it. But when it comes to written and visual, not so much. So I have some studying to do. I think what I might do is just copy and paste all of our online readings into a Word document. It's open notes, so I'm not cheating. And just making sure I can do like a search, well, I have a Mac, so it's Command F for find, but on a PC it would be Control F to find, just in case that way I'm not having to struggle with it. Yeah, but philosophy is not my strong suit. I appreciate it. I understand it. It actually brought some interesting points to political science and justice. The idea of it was justice. We actually talked a bit about Lee Kuan Yew and some of his ideals. We read an interview he did with a fellow here in the US and kind of his thoughts on the United States democracy and how our system is set up. It was very interesting. He made some valid points. I have a kitty. You see the tail. I'm gonna see if she'll come over here. Butters, come here. You wanna come and sit on my lap for a second? Come sit on my lap. Come here. You know you like to cuddle. Oof. You wanna come say hi? Come say hi. Oh, you're not too happy. No, you grumpy girl. I interrupted you. Are you gonna say hi? Say hi. Hi. Oh, that's not a very happy hello. That's a grumpy hello. Are you being grump? Are you grumps? Oh yeah, you grumpy girl. You grumpy cat. Are you grumpy girl? Oh, so grumpy. Okay. Oh, hey. I was trying to set her up on the desk. Apparently she didn't want to be up there. Okay. Okay. Just realized one is not even. Oops. I don't think I said anything important, so just fixing my eyebrow. Oh, I was hoping more people would pop up. I think I've done Saturday day lives, and I think that might be a better day to do them, I guess. I'm not sure. I've had some weird things going on with my YouTube channel of late. Like a lot of my videos are not being seen, and I feel like I've actually lost a few subscribers, so I don't know if YouTube has just gone in and I don't know. I don't know if they updated stuff, so it's kind of like, I was working so hard on gaining those 6 subscribers. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't lose 6. I think I lost 3. But anyway, it was just kind of odd to lose them all in one day and then all of a sudden have my videos not being seen as frequently. I don't know. YouTube's a weird place to be sometimes. Today, after this live, I am going to be studying. I have a ton of reading to do to prepare for the exam tomorrow, and I'm just going to be taking a lot of notes to make sure that I can remember who said what, because our professor adds quotes to exams. He'll take quotes from our readings and ask us who said this and what does it mean. Yeah, I'm not so good with that. I am more of an auditory processor. In other words, if someone says something, as in they speak it to me, I remember that. I remember what they said almost exactly. I remember when they said it. I remember how they said it. I remember all those details. But when I read it, not so much. I don't process that visual component that easily. So it's going to take a little bit more to take my notes, and thankfully our exams are open notes, so I don't have to worry too much about that, because otherwise those essays would be really difficult to do without notes, because some of those concepts are a little challenging to write about because of the philosophical, that's not even a word, philosophical side of that. But what are you up to? What's going on in your world today? I'm going to see if I can actually get StreamYard to share. Let's see. Nope, it won't, because I'm in Chrome right now, and Chrome is the only browser I can use on this, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, I didn't take any philosophy in any non-college, non-university setting. I think it's one of those things that could be taught in more of these public education systems, but I also think that it's something that's a little difficult, because I think that well, at least here in the US, everyone here is all about religion and how, if we can't talk about God in school, then we can't talk about anything in school. It's that weird dichotomy that people come up with. But anyway, we actually talked a lot about Lee Kuan Yew in our class recently. We had an interview that we had to read, where he was talking about his thoughts on the US and our democracy, and how we allow people too many individual rights, where it kind of ruins our society. We got drug addicts and prostitution and all of these things that are immoral, and instead of the government stepping in and fixing it, they can't, because of individual rights, and it's preventing society from getting better. So I thought that was interesting. I think he made some valid points. Doesn't mean I necessarily agree with everything, but it's very interesting. Yeah, being a good citizen, that makes sense. Well, in Asia too, I think people are more concerned about how to cooperate and be part of the goods, or how to be good in society. Whereas here it's more like, here's your individuality, and try to do good with it. But I don't know. It's kind of different. Hey, Sam. Hey, I'm glad you made it. I wasn't sure if you're gonna be able to. So yay. Excuse me, my voice is a little crackly, a little hoarse this morning, as I drink a very creamy coffee. I bought this vanilla caramel creamer, and it tastes so good. I'm almost out this, so I'm gonna have to get more, but I'm usually not the biggest fan of creamers, because they're not usually that healthy. But I buy this all natural brand, and well, it's not specifically all natural brand, but rather this brand offers all natural options, and it's just cream, natural flavoring, and sugar, and that's it. So I've been trying them out, and this particular one is, pretty tasty. Oh, so you have some kind of free time to play on your phone? I'm guessing that's what that means. That sounds like fun. I don't think anyone around here is going to be taking kids to the playground, because it's kind of cold. I have my space heater on, and last night we had a torrential downpour, so everything's pretty soggy and gross. Yeah, it's not a fun day to be outside. I kind of feel bad for anyone who has practice, like sports. There's this play field thing that I go to. I take a walk, and there's a trail and pathway around the entire park. So I like to take that. I like to go there and walk. And there's always some team playing because there's baseball, there's soccer, there's a playground, there's tennis, and there's some other stuff. Oh, lacrosse and field hockey, I think. I wish I could find a field hockey team to play on, because that was one of my favorite sports to play in school when we did our team sports as part of PE, physical education. I loved playing sports. Was never very good at them, but didn't mean I didn't like them. I played on the volleyball team, and then I was on the baseball team. Fast pitch, I didn't do so well in that. Every time I hit the ball with my bat, I would get this shock wave down my arm, and it would hurt so badly that I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't write for 2 days afterwards. So being in school, that wasn't a good thing. So I didn't really stick to it. I could do wooden bats just fine. I could hit the ball really far and get home runs, but not with a metal bat. So everyone was saying, "Oh, you got to hit it in the exact spot." I'm like, I'm not that coordinated, folks. I'm not that good. Like, you give me a wooden bat, I could make that ball fly, but not with a metal bat, because that shock wave down my arm is not fun. But yeah, I loved field hockey. Soccer was fun. It wasn't my favorite though. I liked field hockey. And then I love tennis. Tennis is probably another one of my favorites. I have a couple of rackets in my storage closet, and I can never find anyone to play tennis with. Nobody likes it. And I'm like, why? It's so fun. And I'm like, no, it's boring. And I'm like, well, do you want to go play field hockey instead? And they're like, no. So I'm like, well, you're no fun. Because those are my two favorites. Yeah. Yeah, I was one of those kids, being overweight and just not the very best athlete. I tried my best, and I always participated when I could. Sometimes I fractured my back when I was 11 years old. And ever since that, I've had a lot of back problems because my back didn't heal properly in one particular spot. Because I think it was two or three fractures. No, it was 3 fractures. I had 2 hairlines or what was it? I had 2 hairlines and a compressed fracture. Because I fell. And the angle that I fell in, I fell on my backpack, so my back kind of did this curve, like it fell and went curve, and then I got pulled straight up like this, and that was not fun. That hurt. So I have never been able to physically do a lot of like running, although there was a point in time where I did run a lot, but I paid the price later with my knees and my back. But my favorite thing back in those days was to do weightlifting. In high school, my second high school, that is, we had an option of what kind of PE class we could take. So I took Pilates and yoga, I took team sports, and then I took fitness and weight training, which was one of the hardest classes you could take in PE. But I liked the weight part, lifting weights, because that's when I started bodybuilding, and I got I've always been strong, but I really pushed myself. I was benching 150 by the time that class was over, and I was able to get to like 200 on the leg press. We didn't really have a lot of equipment, so there's a couple leg things that I could do, and it was like 200 pounds on that. But then after high school, I continued it, and when I would go to the gym, I used to go for 3 hours almost every day. I went 5 or 6 days a week for 3 hours or 4 hours, depending, just because I was a gym rat. And I was dedicated. I would go for about an hour on the elliptical, and then I'd do a full body weight training circuit and push myself to do higher weight limits. And then I'd go back onto the elliptical. So overall, my circuit was maybe 45 minutes long. And then so basically I was on the elliptical all the time. But yeah, on the bench press, I didn't have anyone to spot for me, so I had to stop doing that. But I did a lot of other arm exercises, and I got pretty high up in weights. I'm trying to remember. It depended on the exercise because you could do the butterfly extensions, or you could do like, what's this called? I can never remember what all the, what they're all called, but they, have the machines for it. So I had to build up individual arm strength versus the, collective strength of 2 arms. But my leg press, that was easy because we had the machine for it. So I didn't have to worry about someone coming back and making sure I had the proper form and squatting and such. So I did like 300, 400 pounds on my legs. I'm like, dang, my legs are pretty buff. But I haven't done weightlifting in a long time. I'm not supposed to bear a lot of weight because of my spinal degradation. Sadly, I have severe arthritis in the middle of my back, and I am at a point where I have full-blown osteoporosis where I've had extreme bone loss over the last 7 years. I've lost almost 25% of my bone density. So I fractured my back last year because I was lifting something. And it wasn't even, well, in my mind, it wasn't even that heavy. It was a 30-pound box of water, basically. And I had just pulled it out a little too far, and all of a sudden, snap. So not so good. I'm not supposed to be lifting like that anymore. Sad panda. But anyway, sporty stuff. Woohoo. Oh, sorry. I was kind of like not paying attention to the chat. Yeah, I agree. I wish we also had philosophy because I think it would be easier to kind of interpret, I don't know, just pull it together, understand a lot of things a lot more easily. Instead of being black and white, this or not this, moral, immoral, it's easier. I'm never, well, I can't say never. I'm not always black and white. I'm very much in the gray area on a lot of things, but then there are certain things where I'm like, nope, that's just wrong. Killing someone, that's wrong. I understand when there's exceptions, but killing someone is wrong. You just don't do that, right? Anyway, that's kind of a weird topic. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know much about Singapore other than Lee Kuan Yew being someone who made a lot of changes, and maybe for the better in some ways. I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts, Claire, because we had a huge discussion about his policies and this sense of morality and what does that imply? Is it immodest or is it modest? Is it epistemic or is it metaphysical? And that kind of thing, like talking about it from a different angle. So I guess at least in the data that was shared in our class, that, or at least the quotes or whatever, is that Singaporeans believe that their government is doing a good job, whereas in the US, we don't think our democracy is doing a good job for us. Like, we think our government's corrupt and we don't trust it. So I thought that was an interesting comparison, but I'd actually like to hear what your thoughts are, since, you are from Singapore. Hearing an American talking about it versus actually hearing a Singaporean talk about it is like, yeah, that would make sense about philosophers being part of public discourse. It's interesting is that we're not talking about like classic Greek philosophers like Plato or Aristotle. Aristotle's come up a couple of times. We're talking about contemporary philosophers like Martha Nussbaum, who is a pretty renowned philosopher here in the US. She is one of the first women to have completed a doctorate program in it. And it's still a field where women are not, there's still a pretty high glass ceiling. And anyway, she wrote a paper or a book or something on what women's rights are and how there's kind of this relativism that, there's this general kind of morality that we all people should uphold regarding women's rights and freedoms. And she pretty much wrote out this whole thing about what rights people should have. And then she recognizes that, it's not all inclusive, that it's going to have to change depending on cultures, and it's not an absolute, it's just suggestions. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, yeah, so lots of modern day philosophers, like a lot of them are still alive. One of the first people we talked about was, oh, why am I not remembering his first name? Singer, where he was talking about Bangladesh and how this was like in 1971, 1972, I think, where there were a lot of natural disasters and people were starving. And he wrote this paper saying that we in the westernized worlds that have a lot of wealth are obligated to help these people who are not, they're starving. They don't have, they're not in a good position. So his idea is that people who have more wealth are obligated to share that with people who are less fortunate than themselves. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the world, you have that obligation. And he took that utilitarian principle and made it more extreme, in that someone would have to offload as much wealth as possible but before it gets to a point where they're as bad off or worse than the person they're attempting to help. So that's like the comparative moral importance, where whatever someone else is going through, if it's bad, whatever sacrifice we give up doesn't compare to their suffering. So our obligation is to reduce their suffering as much as possible, and to do so, it would be like offloading our wealth and giving it to the less fortunate, to that point where it's kind of not good for us anymore. Like, I'm butchering that. Obviously, I need to study a little bit more so I can finesse how I'm saying that. But anyway. Oh, interesting. I had no idea that there's a eugenics policy. It sounds awful, actually. Because I don't know what that entailed, but I have some guesses as to what that means. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on that, because I feel like younger generations tend to swing the pendulum to an opposite view on everything that they grew up with. Yeah, that's what I heard about LGBTQ, and then also women and women's rights not being, well, I won't say rights, maybe the principles behind some of the policies don't really put women in a good position. Like, here in the US, like, women could easily say they have equality, but then if you really look at it, we don't, because of social structures. So it's not law, but it's just the way that things are. It's kind of a de facto versus de jure. Anyway, I'm getting way off into the philosophical side. I think I need to be done with philosophy right now. This is like fun zone, not school zone, Anywho. Yeah, I can see that. That's tough. I think here in the US it's the opposite, because the workplace, well, no one can say anything about you being pregnant or not, but going on maternity leave, while it's rewarded in a sense. Like some companies offer paid maternity leave. My previous company offered, what was it, 3 months paid maternity leave, and even men could take parental leave. So women got more because of the physical part. You know, giving birth takes a lot out of your body, so you have to recover. It's a health thing. And then there's extra time. There's 6 weeks for the for having given birth, and then 6 weeks for just the parental leave. So everybody got parental leave so long as they actually had a child. Even if they adopted someone, they could get some sort of parental leave, which was really, really generous. But even then, you know, there was a lot of stress for women to have to, you know, have to take time off work because, you know, company still has to run. So when they're gone, then, you know, the value they bring to the company may not be, like, they have to find replacements for that person. So then coming back, it's like, well, here I am. And in some cases, women were no longer managers, or, you know, they would be moved into different departments with lesser responsibilities, still the same pay, but, you know, it's not as fulfilling. So there are a lot of cases in our company and otherwise where, you know, it's, women are encouraged to take that time, but if they do, then it's not a good thing for their careers, and they're kind of punished for it too, which is unfortunate because, you know, having a child shouldn't mean that you can't do your job. But I guess taking time off, you know, just, it's kind of interesting how our culture is like that here in the US. In some places, I won't say all, but I don't know. It's just interesting to me. Yeah, I can see. Okay, well, that's good to know that it's not the case today. I think hopefully societies across the world are just realizing that policing a woman's body and her choices to have children are probably not in their best interest. We'll leave it there. We won't get too political. Anyway, I'm gonna pull up my project, or my product list, and hold on. I am going to quickly. I realized I forgot to do this. I'm going to move the items that I've already used to the bottom of my giant list here so that I don't accidentally draw them again, because that would be kind of a bummer. Okay, one. And then I had 2 ABH products. So I had that brow pencil, and then I had the Carly Bible palette. And then I had a L'Oreal lip color, pigment, and the Urban Decay brow blade pencil thing. So let me quickly, boom, boom, Urban Decay brow blade. There you are. Delete brow. And then, sorry, I'm distracted here. I just want to make sure I get these in the right order so I don't mess it up. This beauty from the, oh, actually, I'll do the L'Oreal first. Oh dear, I'm trying to remember what, oh, Forbidden Kiss. Okay, I think that was what it was called. Yes, Forbidden Kiss. That was that really beautiful berry color. Oh, by the way, that pigment that I pulled last time, I think I thought it was green or pink or something like that. It was actually yellow. It was a yellow pigment that I had to work on pretty much all month. So that was fun and quite interesting. It actually worked quite well with the Carly Bible palette, believe it or not. But I have a video that I'll show. I actually decided to do a full video showing all the products in use and kind of how I use those products throughout the month. So I created, there are 2 makeup looks that I kind of gravitated towards the whole, well, I won't say month because it was more than a month, let's just be real. But it was kind of, I thought it would be kind of fun to do the 2 looks that I repeated a lot and kind of talk about it. And then I have that Beauty from the Earth Ooh, chaperone. I think that's how you say that. If not, I don't know. Okay. Just because I can't stay on the live too long today. Usually I'm on here for like 2 hours. I don't know how I can talk that long. But I can't stay on that long today. I have, all the studying to do. I think I might go get brunch and, take my reading and just kind of sit there and eat breakfast, brunch, whatever, and then and do that. Yeah, if you want to send that to me, that'd be really interesting. I'm always interested in kind of learning about other governments, and we see it from our lens of our free democracy, and democracy is the best thing ever. And when we look at different societies like China or Russia or whatever, so easy to judge. But I'm always curious about what actual citizens think of their own countries, because we have our opinions, which may not necessarily be fully reflective of what's going on. So anywho, that would be cool. Okay, I'm going to do the drawing of products. You guys want to pull, help me decide with the numbers. I'm at a total of 1441. So 441. I like that that's a palindrome. That's awesome. Okay, I brought out the nerdiness today. I just did palindrome and talking about philosophy. Okay. Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, I feel like that's a good amount of time, because I like being on a little bit of a longer live, but sometimes, my voice can't take it. Yeah, and 2 hours is a long commitment. I haven't been able to go and watch a lot of my favorite YouTubers who do lives, just because I don't know how long they're going to be live for. And then I feel badly because I'm like, I have to pop in and pop out. Or I don't have time to, watch any of them on the replay. The only exception is Jen Love, because her lives are always an hour. And I often actually put her on. It's actually like my Sunday Sunday routine, except for today. I haven't done it yet because, I'm doing my life. But usually when I wake up, since, she's 3 hours ahead, not of you, Sam, but she's 3 hours ahead of me. So when she does her live, it's 7 a.m. for me, and I'm not going to be up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning when I could be sleeping in, So once I do wake up and I start getting going and I, get my coffee. Cats. Okay, no one's yelling. I don't hear glass. I don't hear anything breaking. Okay. So 767. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I'll tell you what that is in a second. I'm going to finish my thought on the Jen Love and my routine. So I get up, I go get my, feed the cats. I kind of semi get dressed, not fully. And then I'll get my coffee or some breakfast, and then I'll go sit in my bed and I'll watch the replay, but I don't actually watch it. I'm usually doing something on my phone or multitasking, because who doesn't these days? Who isn't on their phone while watching TV? So I'll do that. That's my Sunday routine, and that I usually do that around 10 o'clock here. So, ooh, that sounds like a fun project. I actually need to refinish part of my coffee table. Oh, which reminds me, I have a video that I redid my entire coffee table. Like I bought it, and when I pulled it out of the box, it was scratched. And I was really upset about it, because I got it at our local Fred Meyer store, which is kind of a grocery store, department store hybrid. It's like Walmart, but way better, because it's an actual grocery store. There we go. Anyway, I didn't want to have to put it back in my car, because I'd already taken it out of the box. There's no way I was going back in the box. I didn't want to yeah, I just don't want to deal with it. So I kept it and I decided to refinish the top. So I refinished it and I filmed it. So I have that on one of my channels. I just haven't published it yet because I have to go in and do a screen or the thumbnail. And I've just been putting it off for way too long. So I actually should do that. Anyway, you reminded me of that. Because it's always fun to kind of have these DIY projects. Okay, so 767 was a Maybelline color tattoo cream called Leather. I think that's the black one. Let me just double, I'm actually going to Google this. Maybelline color tattoo leather images. That's not what I think it is. That's not what I think it is. Wait, what? That's not leather, is it? I'm so confused. Google, you're drunk. I'm pretty sure it's black because leather, that sounds like. Yeah, it doesn't, for Pete's sake, it doesn't say. So I think it's black. So that will be fun because usually I use it as an eye base, but that means I'm going to have some pretty dark eye makeup looks if I do that. So I'll probably use it as a liner. Yeah, so there's some interesting ways to use that. Hopefully it's not dried up because I haven't looked at it in a while. Anyway, if so, I have refresher drops. So let me write this down. Wait, where's my pen? Oops, my pen is in my bedroom. Yes, it is. Okay, I'll type it out then. Notes. Thank goodness there's a notes app on my computer. So Maybelline tattoo leather. Okay, and then 267. Scroll back up. Oops, went too far. Ooh, CoverGirl. Ooh, yay! It's one of my Katy Kat matte lipsticks, and this one's crimson red. So I've got black and red, so classics. So actually, I do have my reds video coming soon on my declutter, my lip declutter. Actually, I can tell you when I'll be uploading that. Give me a second. I've been filming almost every day for the last week, and my goal is to try to get videos up at least 3 a week for the month of June. So I have quite a few that I've been filming. I have like 2, 3 videos so far filmed, and then I have a couple more in the works. So I will have my red declutter up on the 18th. I know that's so far out. I have my little content calendar that I've planned everything out on for. And then this upcoming Saturday, I have a really fun video planned. So yeah. And then I'm not going to go too into detail because my last video drops a hint in the description. So yeah, that video was fun. I wore that makeup look all day. Nice. And I went up to Bellingham, which is about an hour away from where I live. It's actually right next to the Canadian border, and that's where my sister lives. And I went up there, and she was saying, your makeup look is really interesting. And I'm like, yeah, it's not something I would choose to wear, but it was fun to wear nonetheless. Yeah, we'll say that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that helps too. Yeah, water stains are not fun. So redoing it helps a lot. I would agree on that. Don't you have coasters though? If you have coasters, that will fix the problem. It won't come back. I actually have these floor samples because I plan to redo my flooring with hardwood, some sort of hardwood look. So I'm thinking we have, it's a name brand called Pergo, and it's kind of like this waterproof luxury vinyl laminate flooring of sorts. Anyway, I have all these samples, and they were sitting on my coffee table, and I actually do have coasters, but I couldn't find them for some reason. So I've been using my little wood samples. And it's so funny because, you know, they're supposed to be waterproof. So I've been using, you know, when I have ice water or some sort of icy drink and the glass sweats, you know, that I worry about my table. Well, those Pergo floor samples, they are waterproof because they are still in great shape, even when the water goes down the sides of them and not necessarily on the top. So I think that's like the ultimate test. I was telling my sister's boyfriend about it, and he's worked in construction, and he was saying something about how if I decide to rent my condo out, that it would probably be better to do like vinyl flooring instead of what I want to do. And I'm like, well, Pergo is waterproof, and you know, while it's pretty durable. And he goes, well, you know, you don't have someone like me living there yet. And I'm like, well, I know it's waterproof at the very least. And then I said, because I've been using floor samples as coasters. And he goes, oh, no, that doesn't mean anything. I spill stuff. And I'm like, well, when you have sweaty glass and, you know, all that water and condensation drips down the side of the glass and otherwise gets on your table, that's how I've been testing out my floor samples to see if they're truly waterproof. And he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like, it was happenstance too. It wasn't even intentional. They were just there, and I needed a coaster, and I couldn't find my coaster, so I used it, and I just haven't stopped using them. And actually, for my birthday, I think it was, or Christmas. No, it's Christmas. My sister is getting into resin art, so she made me some resin coasters. So I thought that was really funny because, you know, the coasters she made for me, I haven't been, you know, I used them, but it's only 2. Whereas, you know, sometimes I have people over, or not lately, but you know, when she comes over and she has a drink and then her boyfriend has a drink on the table and then I have a drink, then I can't use those 2. So I still have other coasters I would use. Anyway, it's kind of a dumb conversation, but anyway, yeah. Ooh, fire ants. No, that does not sound fun. One coaster, that's not enough for 2 people. You know, you could just go get floor samples or just go find a nice flat rock. Yeah, anyway. Yep. Do the floor samples, test them out, and see if they're truly waterproof and resistant to scratching. Especially if you use like a coffee mug, a ceramic coffee mug, and it's, you know, got that kind of rough edge on the bottom. And kind of rub that against the flooring and see if it has any scratching. Hey, I mean, it will help you determine if it's kid-proof or not. Sorry, Claire. I'm doing 5. So we've got 2 out of 5. So I need 3 more numbers. Actually, I've been sitting here jabber jaws, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, and I have a banana here. I just recalled that I was going to ask today if anyone had any suggestions on video ideas, because I have all of June kind of figured out, but some of the videos I'm kind of hesitant about. So I would love some ideas on things that are actually, you know, desired, as opposed to, I think people might like this. Ugh. Sorry, my nose is itchy. One of the ideas that I had was to recreate one of my old Instagram makeup looks. There was a point in time where I was doing the 100 days of makeup challenge, and I didn't get through the 100 days, I'll be honest. But I did some really interesting makeup looks. So if there's anything there that I could recreate, if anyone wants that, you let me know. You can probably just go and comment on it, and I'll see it, the alert, of course. But that would be awesome. Okay, 1003. Whoops. Well, hello, Winnie. And Wendell, I know that's why you're meowing like that. Okay, I got another lip color. This one's Ofra and it's Refine. Actually, hold on. It's one of those, is one from that collaboration with Jen Love. So I'm hoping it's not that light color. I'm hoping it's not. I mean, if it is, I could use that with the red, but I guess that's not too big of a deal. I can use it regardless. But Refine, I think that's like the medium tone. Okay, no, it's one of the medium tones, I think. Yeah, it's kind of like a peachy nude, I think. So that won't be too bad. If it was going to be that light one, I'm like, ooh, I will have to use it with that crimson lipstick. So Ofra, Refine, Notes. Here we go. Yeah, I have a glass top dining room table, and it gets so dirty so easily because you see everything. My issue is that my cats like to jump up on it, and then all of a sudden I have cat paw prints everywhere. And I've decided I'm actually going to sell this table. I've had it for how long? Had it for like 6 or 7 years, and it's served its purpose, but my cats like to jump up on it. Plus the chairs, they're like vinyl to look like leather, and they're just not as comfortable as they used to be. It's not quite my style anymore. So it was the first furniture that I bought that I didn't have to assemble. It was like I felt like such an adult because I went to the furniture store, I chose the table, I chose the chairs, and I had them deliver it. And I was so proud of myself for buying something like that. And now it's like, nope, it's time to let it go. So I'm planning to get a smaller non-glass dining room table that I don't have to worry about. 'Cause actually, my sister came over last weekend, and she was bent over, and she came back up and she hit her butt on the glass, and the glass top lifted a bit, and I was like, don't break it, don't break it. And she's like, I'm sorry. So, worrying about my dining room table breaking is not a fun thing. Anywho, so, ooh, that would be kind of fun, Sam. That would be really fun. I like that idea. Okay, 725. I hope it's fun. I hope it's fun. Ooh, it's Makeup Geek Beaches and Cream eyeshadow pigment or eyeshadow. So that's, I think, kind of like a tan color. Yeah, it's like a neutral tan. Actually, I'm getting some pretty like standard or classic things. The Ofra one is, I won't say as classic, but the black, the red, and now a neutral eyeshadow. That's pretty classic stuff. I keep realizing, there we go. I keep forgetting that that's optional, that I can do this with StreamYard. I'm like, I'm just saying I'm just responding to things. I don't know how many people ever watch my replays, but sometimes it's helpful to have those questions repeated out loud. That's one thing I like about Jen Love. So I'm not having to like pay attention to the chat on my phone. So I'm not good at that. I'm not good at lives yet. But that would be fun. Joan Jett. I like the idea of doing Joan Jett. Is your mind blank because you can't think of a makeup look idea or a makeup idea, or is it blank because you can't think of a number? Oh, I just saw that you're responding to that. Yeah, I don't want to do the same kind of things that a lot of other people do. I'm not really into talking about anti-hauls or what I don't want to buy. or talking about products in general, because products are not evergreen. In other words, that content is good for maybe a week or two, and then after that, it's no longer something that's interesting. And I don't often have a lot of luck getting immediate views. A lot of my views end up coming afterwards, like maybe a month or two after I upload a video. So I'm trying to post stuff that isn't time bound. So I don't want to, like, a lot of those videos are really popular right now, and it's just not really something I feel passionate about. But I like doing the makeup. I like talking about makeup. I almost can't even do it with cats, you know. Cats like to jump up in there, and then I have to sanitize the table every time I use it because, you know, they're in a litter box. I don't want that all over my table. Then again, I don't even really use my dining room table. I actually don't really use my dining room at all, other than a fancy storage closet for my, I have this really beautiful credenza, like a console, and it's white with this beautiful wood finish, and it's got a lot of storage. So I use that for like my nice serving platters. I use it for my holiday cookbooks. I use it for random things like punch bowls and my glass vases, you name it. That's what's in there. So yeah. And then I have some fun, pretty stuff on there. And then the cat's litter boxes are in the dining room temporarily until I can get the underside of my staircase kind of gutted out so that section can be theirs, because I would rather them not being in the dining room, you know, but that's the only place I can put them right now. So I don't really use the dining room for anything. I eat in the living room or I eat upstairs in my bed because I'm lazy. It's not as fun. No. Suggestion for a video. What is it? Oops. Okay, I need one more number. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of classic makeup, it looks like, with that red lipstick, the black. Actually, I don't have to because I could use any eyeshadow I wanted, really. Fun stuff. I'm scrolling through my list. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, ooh. Hopefully I get something for the face, like a highlighter, a blush, or something, because that would make it, those are some of the products I need to, especially face primers. I really need to use face primers up because I keep getting them in my Ipsy bags. And I'm like, I haven't gotten through the last 20 that you've sent me. Oh, no ideas for the suggestion. Got it. Got it. Most of the ladies in my favorite shows don't wear makeup, as far as like it's not anything noticeable. It's more like the no makeup look. Because I finished watching Star Trek Voyager. Captain Janeway doesn't really have a makeup look. She just, I mean, obviously they put makeup on her, but I mean, it's basic, you know, no eyeshadow, nothing like that. And then I watched Grey's Anatomy, and they don't really wear a lot of makeup either. It's very basic. At least Meredith doesn't wear anything outstanding. This Is Us, no real, same thing, kind of basic. What else do I watch? Oh, Handmaid's Tale. Again, not a lot of makeup except for like bruises. Although I don't need to do that. I have a bruise right here. So last weekend I was making rice, like a Mexican Spanish style rice for dinner. And I was pulling the rice cooker out of my pantry, and the lid decided to fall off and it fell on my head sideways, and the metal hit the side of my head really hard. And so I have this nasty bruise and goose egg basically right through here. And it's, yeah, you can kind of see it right here. Still, it's yellow right now. It was bright purple for a few days. Not so fun. It still hurts too, which is unfortunate. I think I might have actually maybe given myself a hairline because it's still a hairline fracture because it still kind of hurts. It's not even like the skin that hurts, it's the bone. 3. Ooh, that's my favorite number. Trio for browns. Okay, this is an eyeshadow. Oh, I know what this is. So this is an eyeshadow trio, and it's all purples. So it's purples. Hey, you get down. It's this purples palette. So it's got like a light lilac-y shade, kind of a mid-tone purple, and a deeper purple. It's actually really pretty. I haven't used it in a long time, and it used to be one of my favorite purple palettes. So that's what I've gotten. So actually, the Beaches and Cream is a really nice color to go with that because I don't want all purple. You know, I could use the Beaches and Cream to kind of lighten it up and blend out colors and so on and so forth. So there we go. I've got my 5 things. So it was the Maybelline Color Tattoo and Leather, which I'm pretty certain is a black. CoverGirl Katy Kat Matte Crimson Red. By the way, Katy Kat, that was the collection that Katy Perry did with them. Love that formula. And then the Ofra Liquid Lipstick Refined from the Gen Love collection. Makeup Geek Beaches and Cream Eyeshadow, and Almay Trio Eyeshadow Palette. So pretty good. We're pretty good. Favorite cartoons. Oh, that would have to be like from the 90s. Sailor Moon. Doug. Rugrats. Real Monsters. Magic School Bus was another one that I liked. Captain Planet. Oh, that might be a fun idea because you know they do the elements, so it's water, earth, fire, wind. Captain Planet. That would be so fun. Okay, Captain Planet makeup. I am putting this in here. I like it. It could be a little series on my channel. So Captain Planet, Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, Heart, and the Captain. Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, Heart, Captain. I think that's all of them. Let me double check. Captain Planet characters. No, that doesn't help. I don't know. Planeteers. What were they? Oh yeah, there was Gaia. I forgot about Gaia. Oh, apparently Whoopi Goldberg voiced her for a while. That's pretty cool. I had no idea. Okay. Earth, fire, wind, water, heart. Yep. Okay. Yep, I was right. Oh man, that I love that. I'm so excited. And I don't know, I probably don't need to sing it, but it's like Captain Planet, he's a hero, gonna take pollution down to 0. Do 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 do. Paintings, art pieces. Yeah, I could. Ooh, you know, it'd be really fun. I love surreal kind of art. Oh, for Pete's sake, why can't Salvador Dali is one of my favorites. Salvador Dali. I like some Picasso. Well, he's kind of surreal, but more expressionist. I don't know. I'm not the biggest art buff, but Claude Monet would be really fun to do makeup on because of the water lilies and such. And even Joshua would be fun because he did the dots. And then I could, I don't know. I'm thinking. Harlan kitchen sink. This, well, that's orange, white, and blackish gray. So there's not a lot of options there. They're all tabbies except for the one who's a Torby. So personalities. Well, there's Buttercat, the one I was holding up earlier. She's a grumpy girl. She will growl even though she likes being pet or held, or she doesn't like being held as much, but I'll pick her up and she doesn't like it. But then I set her down and then she's like, pet me, love me, don't stop. But she's growling as I'm petting her. It's hilarious. She's a little special. She was, my sister found her in Arizona. When she and her ex-fiance moved down to Arizona, they heard a cat meowing and clawing at the door. They opened the door and it's this itty bitty little orange kitty, and she's so sunburnt. She had like broken skin on her face because she was burnt from the sun. And they think that the people who lived there before them abandoned her, so they took her in and kept her. But they think she had a heat stroke or something happened where she lost some brain function because she's not the smartest cat. Anyway, she'll purr sometimes, but for the longest time, you would pet her and she would just growl and meow and act like she was going to attack you. And it got really vicious sounding, but then she'd, bat your hand if you stopped petting her, and she'd bonk her head against your hand. It's like, I'm afraid you're going to attack me. But nope, we think that she was just a little sun-fried. So anyway, that would be one of the personalities, a little grumpy cat. Then Winnie, I named her because she whines a lot, or makes this little whining cat meow thing. Well, duh, cat meow, but yeah, I'll call out her name and she'll kind of do this kind of whiny sound, so I named her Winnie for that. Wendell, my sister, it was my sister's cat, and she named him Wendell because of a TV show. Okay, this one's a fun story. Sam, maybe you remember this, maybe not, but way back in the early 2000s, like year 2000, and it was, I think, on NBC or something like that. They did, I think it was a 10-part series where they did an episode like a week for 10 weeks or something. And it was about fairy tales called The 10th Kingdom. I don't know if that rings the bell, but it's basically all of the different fairy tales like Snow White, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Jack and the Beanstalk, Rapunzel, Rumpelstiltskin, all of that stuff. Anyway, there's Prince Wendell, and he got transformed into a dog, and he was kind of one of the main protagonists, but also kind of not, since he didn't have a speaking role for the most part. Anyway, she named her cat after him. So that's his personality, is that he's a scaredy cat. He's the big fat one. I say that with love. He's the big one, and he can be mean, but he's the jumpiest cat I've ever known. Because I could be in my bed and he'll be at the foot of the bed and I'll move my toe and he jumps. And it's hilarious, but I feel so bad for him. So I'm like, sorry, I didn't mean to give you a heart attack over there. Or I might be in the kitchen doing something and he'll be right there and I turn around and it freaks him out. I don't know. He gets freaked out pretty easily. So scaredy cat. And then Sandy's just happy-go-lucky. She's just a chill, happy girl. She follows me around. Usually she sits right here if I'm working. She'll sit there kind of, in the cat loaf position, just kind of closing her eyes. And if I move, she'll look like she's going to get up, as if I'm going to get up too. So, yeah. Happy-go-lucky, kind of whiny, scaredy cat, and grumpy cat. Those are their personalities for the most part. So makeup looks, I would have to think about how I would do that. I'll have to think on that one a little bit more. Sorry, I'm behind on these. Is that the Captain Planet show? Maybe. I think. Ooh, that's awesome. I actually don't have a lot of artwork hung up right now because I had planned to paint, but I just haven't. Well, partly, well, like you can't see, but this wall is two-toned right now. There's the pink here, and then here is white. That's because I haven't finished retexturing this. Actually, my sister's boyfriend's going to come down and help me next week and finish it for me because I started doing it last year, and when I hurt my back, it was really hard to get up and down the step ladder to do it. So instead, I've just been kind of meh. And apparently, I was doing it the hard way. Apparently, there's a far easier way that takes less time, so he's going to do it for me. So once that's done, this wall will actually be pink. In my videos, it looks like an off-white, which I like kind of for my videos, but it also makes it kind of hard for the lighting because the light reflects off the white and then my face looks darker. But it's supposed to be like a really light blush pink. So once this room is done, then I'll be able to work on the other rooms. My bedroom, I actually want to tear out the carpeting. I have carpeting all upstairs. I hate it. I just don't like carpeting with cats. The hair gets stuck in there, and if they vomit or something, then I have to clean that up and scrub the carpet. Just not my thing. I want to tear the carpeting out. I want to retexture all the walls. I want to get rid of the popcorn ceiling around my house. I hate popcorn ceiling. I just don't know why that was ever a thing. And then repaint the walls. So right now I have kind of this ugly, kind of yellowy beige color around most of the house, and it's just, it's ugly. My living room, I painted that a long time ago, so I have white and navy blue. So my main like focal wall is a deep navy blue color, almost kind of like a black tone. It's really pretty. I just need to finish the other side of the living room to paint it that same color, but I have to retexture those walls too because I don't like the look of flat paint on that texture. So there's that, and white. To get rid of that ugly yellowy color, I painted it white. White is the most basic, boring color, but I'll tell you what, once that white went up, I'm like, I have a new appreciation for white because none of my walls are white unless I've painted them white. So it makes me kind of think, yeah, I miss white walls. So I did that. My kitchen and my dining room, there's a lot that I want to do there, but I want to do my dining room area kind of a light green color, kind of like a minty green or maybe sage or something like that. Something kind of light and brightening, but not too out there. But I also love jewel tones. So in the hallway, I think I'm going to do like a bright or maybe a deep berry tone, something like that, to kind of tie in the jewel tones with the light tones. Anyway, those are my thoughts on painting. I don't recall seeing that. I don't know. Was it the face? No, it's not it. Dali is a really interesting artist. I love the work because you can look at it every day for a month, let's say, and every day you see something different, or you think of it in a different way. It's one thing that I love about artistry is that I appreciate artists who can create pieces that aren't just pretty to look at or nice to look at. They make you think or feel things that maybe you wouldn't have thought or felt before. So I like stuff like that. Older one, okay. Is that for Buttercat? Grumpy cat is grumpy, 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 grumpy. Edward Hopper. I'm Googling that now. If I could type it correctly, I misspelled it. Oh yeah, this works really nice. Almost looks like pastel. I like the use of colors. There's depth, but there's also some pops of color there. Really nice. Really nice. In my upstairs hallway, when I'm finished with that anyway, it's like a Disney and like fairy tale kind of thing. So I had, I bought a puzzle that was like Ursula inspired from The Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid was my favorite Disney movie when I was really little. My mom ended up buying me like everything Little Mermaid for my bedroom. I had curtains and throw pillows and blankets and sheets and you name it. Everything Little Mermaid. And oh, don't you think about it. Sorry, my cat's trying to jump up on my desk. Anyway. And then I loved Beauty and the Beast. Anyway, Ursula, I have this giant purple and black poster kind of looking thing. It was a puzzle that I glued together. And it's Ursula, and it's really cool looking. Actually, I'm going to see if I can find it really quickly, and I can show you. It's this one here. Oh, that's an ugly link. Sorry. Oh, nope. Sorry. That's not going to work. Hold on. Okay, here's a better link. There we go. Rennie, hopefully, I don't know if it'll, yeah. I don't know if you can copy and paste it from the comments. I don't know. If not, you can just Google search Ursula puzzles. And it's a purple one where it's focused only on her or primarily on her. It's like purple and black. She's in a, and there's a bunch of picture frames. And it shows the different characters, but she's the primary one. Anyway, I have that, and I actually glued it together and put it in a frame. So I plan to put that up, and then I have a couple of those Thomas Kinkade and Disney collaboration. And I like Thomas Kinkade, not my favorite style. I appreciate it, but it's not something that I would just necessarily hang around my house, except for the Disney ones. So the Disney ones will go in my upstairs hallway because they're so cool looking. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So I have Thomas Kinkade with the Disney. So I have a bunch of little prints that I plan to put up with that, and then the puzzle. So I think that would be kind of fun. I just haven't hung them up yet. And then I have these frames that I kind of made, kind of assembled. I actually bought these frames for my mom's memorial service a couple of years ago, and I hung pictures. So they're just open blank frames, and then I glued, like I attached these strings to it to kind of like in crisscrosses or something, and then you could hang pictures from it, and that's what I did. So I now have those hanging on my wall, but the pictures I printed out at the time were too big for the frame, so I need to go and print smaller pictures that are about this size so I can hang those on those frames. But yeah, Thomas Kinkade and Disney, they're so fun. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Oh, which one? Which Disney movie or Disney show was it? I think I might have had the same calendar you're talking about because I have those prints, and that's where I got mine was out of a calendar. I had seen the calendar and I thought, I love that. I actually enjoy the Disney aspect of it. Like if it were just basic Thomas Kincaid, I probably would not have bought it, but it was the Disney aspect. I'm like, I love it. I don't know. It's just so pretty and fairy tale and fun. Oh, I know what you're talking about. And yes, I think that one was kind of probably not the best one. I mean, I'm actually going to pull it up right now so I can roast it with you. Thomas Kincaid, Disney Cinderella. Is it the one where they're on the bridge? Or is it the one where they're dancing at the ball? I think it might be the one where they're on the bridge because you see his face more clearly. And there's like a little bird flying and she's just like, oh, and he's just like, okay. Christmas time. Oh, I think so. My sister really likes Thomas Kincaid. She's got a huge print on her wall, which is cool. Let's see. The Christmas villages. Yeah, I like those. I think they kind of put you in the Christmas spirit around whenever you see them. Because it's like old school Christmas, like not all the high tech, stuff with giant blow up snowmen and Santa Clauses in the yard. It's like the caroling and the reindeer and the snow. It's like what you would expect in an old Christmas village or an old village in like France or Germany or something. I've always wanted to go to Germany and France for Christmas, like going to the Christmas markets and just experiencing the European Christmas. I'm actually French and German, or not really, more Swiss German. But I think it would be so much fun to experience that. It's on my bucket list of things to do. I also have the Macy's Day Parade on my bucket list. I would love to see the Macy's Day Parade in person in New York City. Although I imagine it would be bonkers. I was there on Halloween a couple of years ago, and there's a giant parade, and you could be part of the parade if you want. I wasn't dressed up enough for it, but yeah, it's just basically a parade of costumes, which is so fun. However, that day it was not a fun day to be out on the streets because the police had blocked off so much because there was a terrorist attack or something that happened down by the 9/11 Memorial Center. So I was actually on my way to go see the memorial. I was walking there from the office, our work office, but then I realized I'd forgotten one of my medications and I needed to take it. So I ended up going back up north. My hotel was actually near in the south end of Central Park, and my work office was actually, I want to say maybe about a mile or two away from there. So, and I walked the whole way. I was just like, I'm not going to bother with an Uber. It takes way too long. I could walk there in less time than it would take to get an Uber there. And I didn't want to deal with the subway. So anyway, I started walking back to the office or back to my hotel. And then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up about an hour later. And because everybody knew I was in New York City at the time. And my grandma, my sister, a bunch of my friends were like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm fine. And they're like, check the news. And I'm like, of course. I pulled it up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there. So what happened was, is this guy, whoever, I don't know who it was, but he drove a truck into a crowd of people and, was intentionally trying to kill people. And I don't remember if there were people who died, but there definitely were a lot of injuries because he kept going. And yeah, so that was a little scary because they actually said it was a terrorist attack. So that was not fun because it was Halloween day. I dressed up as like I did the face like kitty cat. I did the whiskers. I did the pink nose. And then I did like a really heavy cat line on the eye, which was fun. And then I had these little this cat ear headband. And then I wore a black and white striped skirt with a black top. It was kind of like Catwoman-esque. So it was like a hybrid cat. I call myself the Catwoman. Anyway, yeah, I went to that parade, the Halloween parade, because it was still on. They didn't cancel it. And it was a lot of fun, but it was really stressful to be there because there was a huge police presence, of course, because they were worried about another terrorist attack. But people were still there, and I actually got interviewed by someone who works for the Associated Press, and I was quoted in the paper in the Washington Post, maybe? I think it was the Washington Post. So I was quoted in it, which was kind of cool, but also kind of sad because I didn't want to give any of my identifying information out because I was just like, nope, not if there's a terrorist attack involved, not if there's creepy psycho people out there. I don't want anyone to be able to know who I am because it said I was on a work trip. Because I said I was on a business trip from Seattle, and I said my name is M, and they're like, "Well, what's your last name?" I'm like, "I don't feel like sharing my last name." I'm like, just because what I'm saying could be seen as aggression, because I basically said that because he was asking me why I was at, if I didn't feel, why would I be at the parade? Did I feel safe? What did I think about what happened? And I was explaining that, I think that people are resilient, and we were going out because we wanted to show the terrorists that they can't break us, and that no matter what they do, we still come out in the end being stronger than ever. And I could live in fear, or I could, live my life and not be crippled by fear. And, the whole idea of terrorism is to instill fear, so I'm not going to let them win, is kind of what I got quoted for. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want some terrorists to be like, oh yeah, well, I'm coming after you, So I got, it was kind of cool that I got quoted. And, just randomly, like, who in New York City, I was in New York City in Manhattan, and, hundreds of thousands of people everywhere. And yeah, there are like 3 of us who got quoted in the Washington Post, which was cool. It's like, of all the random places, it's like in Casablanca, the quote is, of all the bars in the world, you had to walk into mine, whatever that quote is. So anyway. Oh, you have to custom order it then, because we actually have quite a few framers here. So if I needed a custom frame, I have some pictures that need custom frames. So, okay, yep. That face that he makes there is a little, it could be a little less excited to look at her. I don't know. Aw. I like the Snow White ones. Actually, I really like the Mickey Mouse ones with Minnie Mouse. They're so cute. I would love to. Let's see. Next year, I will have to play a lot of travel by ear because I don't know where I'll be at with school yet. And I'm coming to a point where I'm starting to have to pay for school out of pocket. And it's getting expensive. So we'll see. But I would love to. And it definitely won't be this year. I don't think I'm going to be doing much travel this year at all. I plan to go home to Montana to go see some family. And I might go on a little bit of a road trip this summer if I can swing it. But other than that, I have no plans to travel. A lot of the cruise lines are starting to go again. A lot of countries are opening up their borders, but the Canadian border is still closed to us. We still can't go into Canada um, unless we're like an essential worker or something, or it's an emergency. But we can't even get into the Canadian border, across the Canadian border right now, because as I said, my sister lives up in Bellingham, which is short, right next to the Canadian border. So I see that sign up and it says border is still closed. So yeah, I agree. I think it would be great to be able to go and be like and celebrate the fact that things are hopefully on the upturn, that things are getting better, but we'll see. But 2022 should hopefully be better. Cross my fingers I'll be in a position to travel financially. It's hard to say. I'm one of those people who's like, yeah, maybe. If I make plans to do something, I'm always like, I don't want to make them too far out because things always change. Things are always in flux in my life. It's so strange. And I get asked all the time, what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, 5-year plan? How about a year-long plan? Because even then, like, a year long seems forever. I can't ever plan for more than a year because, I mean, my life is just around the time that my mom was diagnosed with her metastatic breast cancer. It happened so fast, and I started to interview and talk to recruiters in Los Angeles, and I was starting to really commit to moving there, and I was starting the process, and then all of a sudden my mom was sick, and then 6 weeks after she was diagnosed, she died, and then I'm buying a house up here because I assumed that she was going to live longer, and then I was going to have to take care of her, so I was going to buy a house so that I had the extra room. And by that time I was already in contract, or I had already put in offers, and then she passed away. And then I closed a month after she died. So it was a pretty quick process. So in a 3-month period, my life just completely flipped upside down. So I really have a hard time planning so far out because, in my experience, things change so fast. Things always change. So anyway, that's just my thing, or I don't want to overcommit to something. Anyway, I'm probably more likely to go to Florida than I am to travel abroad, at least in the time being, because I have my friends who live there in Davenport, and they have a spare bedroom, so I don't have to worry about hotel or anything when I'm there. And I would love to go back to Disney World. That was so much fun. I didn't get to go to, was it Hollywood Studios, and I haven't made it to Universal Studios yet, but I did go to the other 3 Disney parks. I went to Epcot during that wine and food festival, but it was pretty limited because it was COVID time. And then the main one, what is it called? At least I don't claim to be the biggest Disney fanatic because I'm spacing out on the names. Shoot, what's it called? Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom. There we go. Those are the ones that I'd been to. Yeah, that was 2018. 2018 started out really strong and amazing, and I was excited. That year, my sister and I were taking some trips. So we went to Ocean Shores, which is on the coast here, and I had never been. So we went on that little adventure. And then for her birthday, I took her to Vegas, and we went to Vegas for a few days. And then so my sister's birthday is on June 18th. So we went in June. And then we had maybe a month before everything happened with our mom, because our mom was diagnosed in July. I had just gone on vacation, and then it was my last day of vacation when I found out. I had gone to see my mom to check in on her, and she looked like, I thought she had a stroke, so I was trying to get her to go to the doctor, and she wouldn't go. So I was trying to get my stepbrother, who was living with her at the time, I was trying to get him to take her to the doctor if he could try to get her to go, because she just was not going to listen to me. My mom was stubborn. I get my stubbornness from her. And then the next day I get a message saying, your mom was found in the parking lot. She was passed out. She's at the hospital. You should come up. So then I drove back up there, went straight to the hospital, and then we found out she had a brain tumor, and she was life flighted to Seattle. So I had to drive all the way back down to Seattle, and I stayed the night with her for several nights at the hospital. She was at Harborview, which is the main big one here that's got all the specialists. And if anyone is life flighted here from anywhere, they go to Harvard. They go to Harborview. So she was there for about a week, and some of the top surgeons at the University of Washington. It's an amazingly good school for medicine. They're one of the top in the nation for like heart surgeries and things like that. But anyway, there was a neurosurgeon there, and he was looking at her scans, and he comes in and goes, we can't do surgery on her for XYZ. And so he couldn't save her. And you know, it was what it was. But yeah, we had 6 weeks after that, and he was saying, well, we could try to do the surgery if we could shrink the tumor. So she was going to go through chemo and radiation, but she was going to have to do it every day, really intense sessions, because her brain tumor was the size of a golf ball. So about this big, just pretty big, in the center of her brain, on top of her brain stem. So it was hitting all of the functions, like motor function, cognitive function, you name it, function. So there really wasn't a way to safely remove that tumor without affecting her memory or causing her to be a vegetable. So anyway, that was a rough year, but I made it through. Anyway. Well, I would love to. Flights are still expensive though. Plus I would want money to spend on fun stuff. I actually went to Germany. I went to Frankfurt. I didn't really do anything there because it was a layover, and we were there for forever. But I was 15 at the time, so that was 17 years ago. I'm sure a lot has changed then. I remember going to McDonald's, and I thought it was going to be amazing, and it wasn't. Because I was like, ooh, you know, hamburgers were named after Hamburg, so I'm sure hamburgers are going to be amazing here. I'm so wrong. McDonald's was it was better than it was here in the US, but still not like amazing. I don't know. At 15, I assumed that they would be so much better than they were. So, but it was kind of cool to see different menu options. I found that here in the US, we only have like hamburger, chicken, or fish, and then it's very basic stuff. I don't have like curry or, you know, fun stuff on the menu. We don't have hot dogs or anything like that. I don't know who does, but anyway. I have realized that I was here much longer than I anticipated. I get talking, and I'm a jabberjazz when I start talking, and I think my coffee finally hit, but I'm hungry and I need to start studying because it's almost 1, and I want to try to get to bed at a decent time tonight, so I need to go study, and I'm going to go get lunch, brunch, whatever, lunch thing. Anyway, so I'm going to head out. I'll have that video up maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I should have it up tomorrow, assuming that I will be able to get it up tomorrow. I'm just kind of thinking out loud because once my final's over, which will be about 10, it'll give me plenty of time to edit. So, alrighty, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.